So the first thing that needs to be got right is governance. Governance is the process by which the senior executives and members ensure that the LGR programme delivers on its strategic objectives. The first requirement is to have a stable programme team and a sponsoring group, each one with clear membership, accountabilities and responsibilities for the programme, agreed up front and captured in the team and group charters. If everything goes exactly according to plan, of course, then the sponsoring group's role is very simple. Receive reports, assess progress, review expenditure, and challenge the delivery team on progress and outcomes. But large, complex programs rarely go according to plan, and that's why the governance process needs to be dynamic and not fixed. The key is for the program team and the sponsor group members to understand their responsibilities and to set up the right relationship between the program team and the sponsor group. Both team members and group members need to understand that their roles in the program are distinct from their functional roles. They might come from a function, they might be keen to advance that function's interests, but their responsibility is to act for the program first and foremost. The sponsoring group is ultimately accountable for achievement of the overall strategic objectives. The program team must earn the trust of the group by following the plan, reporting clearly, escalating only when necessary, and for each escalation, laying out options to deal with the issue clearly and transparently. Each of the sponsors, for their part, must agree to support the team at all costs, sometimes even when it goes against the sponsor's individual objectives or priorities. If a serious issue arises, sponsors must step up and address the issue in support of the team, as guided by the team's recommendations. This might involve, for example, removing a barrier, bringing forward or suspending a work stream, recasting the budget, or even removing an individual who's undermining the programme somehow. Sponsors are not on the sponsor group just to represent defend their functions or their particular interests. They're there to ensure the successful delivery of the programme. They need to be asked up front when the sponsor group is being formed if they agree to those terms, and if they don't, then perhaps they don't belong on the sponsor group. And still on the subject of governance and the programme plan, something about stage gates. So the LGR timelines are set by government, not by councils. That means that your programme plan has to be built around firm decision points or stage gates with clearly defined go, no-go criteria agreed by the sponsor group at the beginning. Stage gates do two things. They create accountability, you either meet the criteria or you don't, and everyone can see it. And they provide the forum to make hard decisions early, before slippage occurs or starts to compound. If a critical work stream is behind, or a key enabler is going off track, then a stage gate forces the conversation. It's so important to surface those conversations early, confront the issue, and work on a resolution or an alternative. That can be uncomfortable, but it's much less damaging than leaving it too late or discovering problems at vesting day. That's what the stage gates are for. Build your stage gates around the decisions that are genuinely irreversible, legal, structural, financial, and not just around the programme milestones. And the second thing to get right is the benefits case. So the benefits case is the breakdown of the improvements to service delivery, to value for taxpayers, that the new unitary will be expected to achieve over and above what the existing councils deliver. Benefits will need to be tracked as the programme progresses. The benefits case will be scrutinised by the ministry, by auditors, by members, and eventually by residents. But the real purpose of benefits tracking isn't just the scrutiny, it's the design discipline that it forces for the programme. Benefits must be clear from the outset, with KPIs and targets agreed. A good technique is benefits mapping. Start with the ultimate outcome. What's the new unitary expected to achieve that the existing councils can't or aren't delivering? Then work backwards from there. What are the enabling capabilities, the systems, the processes, the partnerships, the intermediate steps that support achievement of those benefits? What indicators will we use to monitor achievement of those enablers and steps? The benefits mapping exercise then informs the programme workstream design and the programme plan. It becomes the basis for reporting to the sponsoring group, and it provides a framework that connects delivery activity to the outcomes that the new unitary requires. Benefits mapping should be a collaborative exercise used as part of the discovery and diagnostic phases facilitated by the program team. And the third thing to get right is the integration of the ICT work and the organisation transformation. So ICT integration is consistently the most underestimated workstream in any merger or divestment or reorganisation programme, and the LGR will be no exception to this. ICT systems can't simply be carved up or stitched together. Data that supports service delivery will need to be assessed, cleansed, rationalised and migrated, and that takes time, resources and clear ownership. Before you decide on what technology you're going to use for the new unitary, which systems, which applications, answer the governance questions. Where will the master data sit for each of the services? Who sets the standards for that master data? Who enforces them? What data quality issues are there already in your existing systems, and how will you resolve those before they're merged into or they contaminate a selected system? Once you've decided what systems and applications will be used by the new unitary, then staff training and support will need to be planned well ahead of go live. People need to know what's changing, when, and what help they'll get. Their managers need to be briefed before their teams. And a backfill needs to be planned for as well, because remember, quite often key people will be drawn into the ICT work for the programme, and services need to be kept running at the same time. And finally, I would resist the temptation to use the LGR programme as a vehicle for developing or testing new AI applications, tempting and all of that will be. There'll be plenty of opportunities. I'm pretty sure there'll be plenty of projects in the pipeline already. There may be projects already delivering. But the LGR programme scope should be restricted to delivering the transition. It's going to be difficult enough as it is. Dependencies on projects, on AI projects perhaps, can be taken into account, but if they are, then the governance of those projects needs to be brought fully within the programme governance processes. So there's a lot more that needs to be got right. I've just covered 3 areas that are critical to the success of most large transformation programmes, and that's what I think the LGR programmes will be.